In October of 2020, Tracy Barkley decided to brave the pandemic and search out the legend of the Bell Witch. In the end, her smartphone was lost and missing for 24 hours and was found by her exasperated wife.
Let's see. The Bell Witch. Adams, Tennessee. Ugh. Wow. That's not nice. You know, I really just wanted to go drive up to Adams, Tennessee and check it out. But, of course, my wife, you can't go. It's a COVID pandemic. How you going to be sure there people are going to be social distancing? Honey, it's a witch. I'm sure it's social distanced. But anyway, I am relegated to doing this research from the comfort of my own home. And so, here I go. So the north was the farm of John Bell. So there was a property dispute and someone turned into a witch. That makes sense. What? What the hell was that?
Okay.
Even my dog ran. What the hell was that? I'm the only one here. That's weird. There it is again. I'm gonna go check it out. Hey everyone. It's been a weird day. I've been hearing a lot of weird things, and I'm not so sure if I'm going to be able to finish this case or this story or not, but I'm going to give it my best shot here. Ever since I started researching the Bell Witch, Tennessee, I've been hearing really strange noises. I feel presences, and I'm an atheist. I don't believe in that shite. But I'm scared. I've talked to my family, I've talked to some friends, and I don't know what to believe. They all tell me something different, but I don't know if I'm cracking up or what. But I'm going to tell you the story of the Bell Witch, Tennessee, no matter what happens to me. Let's try to finish this. Can't let them see that I'm Googling this. No one believes me. Since I started researching this dang witch, really, really weird things have been happening. What am I even doing? I need to call somebody and that has a rational mind and have them talk me through this without putting me down. Who do I know? Jim?
Hey, can you hear
Hey,
me?
I can. Thank you. Thank you for
Oh,
picking up. I know
yeah,
it's
what's going on?
I I'm a rational person, right?
Yeah.
You think I'm rational and I don't jump to conclusions? Well,
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when you texted me that you wanted a Zoom chat, it sounded pretty important. I didn't know what was going on though.
Jim, I'm scared. I'm scared. So I told you I was doing that expose on the Bell Witch, and we had a laugh about it, and you said, "Oh, that'll be fun." And so I've
Oh,
been,
the that's like a local, what was it? It's kind of like Blair Witch, but it was up in Tennessee or Kentucky or somewhere.
yeah, it's North Tennessee into Kentucky. It's a
Yeah.
legend about a property dispute between two families in the 1800, oh, actually 1700s, and then one of them supposedly came back and haunted the other family, and there was some deaths and some poisonings and just a lot of gobbledygook about ghost stories. Well,
Poison. That's right. I remember you talking about that now.
right.
So how's the research going?
The research is going good. I found out a lot of stuff, but this is where you're gonna probably think I'm nuts. Uh, Ever since I started investigating it, weird things have been happening.
Weird things.
Like missing equipment. Like I know I sat it down and then it's gone. Like my camera disappeared for a little while, and then
You went out in the woods to try to get some footage?
I went to I tried to go. I went up to Adams and I kind
Okay.
of poked around a little bit, and things kind of got missing. And then I
You
got
were
an ear.
alone, or you brought someone to help you out, or you
Uh,
were alone?
my wife was there, but she was back in the
Uh-huh.
truck. She, like everything, doesn't like to get caught up in my misadventures. I don't blame
Right.
her. But I was just looking around and I just got this eerie feeling, and then I lost my camera, and then we found it, but literally it was in a place I did not put it, Jim. It was at least 5 feet away from where I left it, and I
Okay.
know where I left it. So I
I
got
have this
everything.
funny feeling you're about to tell me that is there something on that camera that you didn't put on there? That's what I'm guessing.
There was a bright white light on there that was just weird. That I know I didn't take a picture of anything, and
It's a
I
still or video?
it's a video, and I thought I saw a human shape go by the lens. Now it could just be.
Oh man.
And honestly, Jim, around the house, like when I'm alone in the house now, I hear things. And my dog heard it too because he ran. It sounded like something falling in a room where there was an absolutely empty room. And Jim, I'm scared every
Well,
time.
you and I are rationally thinking human beings. We don't believe in any magical supernatural phenomenon, correct?
Correct.
All right. So let's break this down. You saw a human shape. Is there a possibility that you just dropped the camera and it actually turned itself on? Like it rolled over and hit it and turned itself on, like hit a button.
Oh, sure.
And
Sure.
maybe someone might have walked by there and it could have been of lens flare. I'm
Yeah.
just looking at all the possibilities, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And
But
you're thinking
there was just a
they might have,
feeling.
yeah.
I got this eerie feeling when I found the camera, like somebody was looking at me, but I was the only one around. So I just grabbed the camera and got the hell out of there. And then when I looked on the digital replay later, I saw that, and it just, like, the hairs on the back of my neck stood up. You ever got that feeling?
Oh, all the time. I got that feeling right now, you telling me this, even though I know there has to be a scientific explanation. But what kind of creeps me out though is if if who I'm going to say whoever, not whatever, was out there might have, because now you're back at home and you're hearing stuff outside your home,
Yeah,
like
and inside my home, like
might have fall.
I heard something fall in our, like, middle room, and there's nothing in there. And I went in there to look, and my dog heard it because he took off and ran across the house. So
Inside your home.
inside my home.
Okay, this you're gonna have to show me this footage later. Was this human figure, did it look like it was walking or floating?
Asshole. Floating.
Really? Oh,
Yeah.
really? It really
Well,
looked like it was floating?
which is, it could
I'm
be
trying to
just
eliminate, yeah.
a flash. It could just be a flare. It could be many things, but it passed by and it looked like a human form, but it didn't have human movement,
And
if that makes sense.
it wasn't walking
No,
like bobbing.
no, it was more like,
I'm just trying to eliminate, maybe it was just a human being walking or as at the moment, maybe a lens flared or something.
no, I mean, it
So
didn't
it
have
looked,
human movement. It was a human form without human movement.
everything in my mind is saying there has to be a scientific explanation for it, but that is pretty creepy.
I
Not gonna
know.
lie.
I I I even told my wife about it. I told my mother, and they're both like, "Oh, it was just something. You dropped the camera, you don't remember it rolled over. An animal could have walked by, a human could have walked by, anything." And that is what every bit of my brain is screaming. But then whenever I hear anything now that, like, when I'm in the house alone, I just get the chills. I'm sure I'm just psyching myself out, but I just wanted to call and talk to somebody that is rational like me and might
Was
have some
something,
thoughts on it.
you said something fell inside your home. You thought you heard movement in another room and something had fallen off, what, a shelf or something?
No, no, it sounded like something had fallen, but there's nothing in that room. It's a completely empty room. And I would have just
Holy
chalked
shit.
it up to, I heard, was imagining it, but then my dog, who was asleep next to the door of that room, took off running. He heard it.
I mean, even people that don't believe in supernatural phenomena can still get kind of freaked out. It's just human nature, you
Yeah.
know. It's called pareidolia. We're pattern-seeking mammals. We apply meaning to things that aren't necessarily there or not. It's a survival mechanism. I'm going to say there's a scientific explanation for it, but yeah, that is pretty creepy.
Yeah. I'm glad I called because you made me feel better. I'm going to stand on the fact it's probably just my mind conjuring up things, and I'm just going to chalk it up to that and go on. But Jim, I just want you to know, if something happens to me or I disappear, I don't expect you to tell anybody about this conversation, but just I just want somebody to know that maybe I was right if something happens to me.
If you do disappear, I will have to give this conversation to the authorities. I mean, this would be Exhibit A in your disappearance, wouldn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, take care of yourself and be safe.
legend of the Bell Witch goes all the way back to the late 1700s in the area now known as Adams, Tennessee, near the Kentucky border. There were two families, the Bats and the Bells, and they had some property disputes over a farm. And evidently the Bells won out, specifically John Bell won out, and basically took the Bats' property from him. The Bats family eventually moved out or died out, and the Bells went on to build a huge farm on that area of land and went about their lives. In 1817, John Bell was noted by local journalist Martha Ingram, who wrote the authenticated history of the Bell Witch of Tennessee, as seeing an apparition on his property. A dog with a human face. And no one believed him, but he swore up and down till his deathbed that he saw that dog. Later on, his son Drew would see a very strange-looking bird perched on the fence that flew off and was of huge size, bigger than even the turkey buzzards that are native to this area of Tennessee. And then their daughter Betsy Bell observed a girl in a green dress that resembled Kate Batts, one of the daughters of the family that they had essentially run out, swinging on the limb of an old oak tree out in their yard. I swear it sounds like somebody's back there. I'm in Nana's house. There's no one else here. I'm gonna go check. Okay, well, there was obviously nothing back there. I'm hearing things. And the pipes are kind of rumbling. Maybe that was it. Jesus Christ!
Tracy Jean, what is the matter with you?
What the hell are you doing in a witch's costume?
It's Halloween, for gosh sakes. What's wrong with you? I'm going to a party.
Jesus God, I need to go change my drawers.
You need to take a chill pill, sister. This Bell Witch thing is going to do you in. You need to quit it.
Oh my God, I'm going to go take a Valium. I'll see you later, Mom.
All right.
Y'all, what is that? Do you hear that? This is Tracy. I just want a video record of what I'm seeing and hearing. Ever since I came back from Adams, I've heard strange noises. And this is out in my own backyard, y'all. There's definitely footsteps. I don't know what to do. I'm so scared. I just want this video record in case something happens to me and people won't know that I was crazy. I'm going to try to make it across. I'm at my Nana's house. I'm going to try to make it across to my house. Y'all, if anything happens to me, I love you all. Tracy out. I made it, everyone. I made it.
Are you okay?
No.
What's the matter?
You know, I know you don't believe me, Mom, but you remember how I told you ever since I started researching this Bell Witch that something's after me, that it moves stuff. It just followed me across the yard.
Oh my gosh.
There's something behind me, and I couldn't see it, but I could hear it, and I could feel it. But
You need to quit researching this weird stuff that's freaking you out. You need to quit this stuff. There's nothing but Satan up in that stuff. You need to quit that nonsense.
Mom, I can't. My subscribers are dependent on me to bring them this story. But there's something after me.
What do you got, a bunch of Satan worshippers up in there?
They're not
Satan.
Just because they're not Methodist doesn't mean they're Satan worshippers, Mom.
What is this Bell Witch nonsense anyway?
It's the witch in Adams, Tennessee in the 1800s. It was like two families, the Bells, and another family had a property dispute. And then after one family died out, supposedly one of the daughters, named Kate, came back and haunted the other family and basically killed them all one by one.
Oh, so they had some other family member that's running around doing shenanigans out there in Adams, Tennessee. That's crazy. I don't know what's after you in the yard, but you need to take one of these dogs with you.
Okay. Maybe I am just imagining it.
Yeah. Just settle down. You'll be all right.
All right. All right. I love you, Mom.
Love you too.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, hi Tracy, how you doing?
Hey, I'm doing good. I'm sorry to bother you. I know you're in the middle of a work day, but
Sure.
I need to talk to somebody. I'm having some issues. They're a little silly, but I'm going to tell you.
Okay.
You know, I told you I've been investigating the Bell Witch legend, and I just kind of wanted to do a full investigation for my channel for Halloween. Well, I went up to Adams, Tennessee, and I filmed some stuff, and then in the middle of it, I lost my camera, or I set my camera down. I came back, it was gone. I swear it was gone. Maybe I left it in the place that I found it, which isn't it. And then when I got home, I looked at the footage, and there was some stuff on there that I didn't film, Dave. There was what appeared to be a human image walking past. I say it's walking. It didn't do that you would expect. It more was kind of floating. And there was several seconds of that footage floating. It looked like it was floating. There was several seconds of that, and this Bell Witch is supposedly floated around. And then ever since I got back from Adams, when I'm doing my other research, I hear things. Like, it sounds like something's in my house and I'm the only one there. And I swear things move. I haven't seen them actually move, but I know I put stuff down and then it is in another place where I didn't move it. And I ask other people in the house if they moved it, and they say they didn't move it. And even my pets are hearing stuff. Like, I'll hear it, and then one of my dogs will run. Like, they heard it too.
Your pets are hearing things.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm imagining all this. I hope I'm imagining all this. So I just wanted to call somebody that has a rational mind, that doesn't believe in ghosts, that can tell me that I haven't unleashed something by digging too far into this Bell Witch thing, because I'm scared. The hair on the back of my neck stands up whenever any of this stuff happens. I'm just nervous. Dave, talk me out of it. What do I do?
You've unleashed a ghost. Okay. I know the scenes. I know what this is like. I've seen this before. I don't talk about it, but you've unleashed a ghost. I know what the animals are like. This sounds completely legit to me. Look, if you're seeing things move around, if you're seeing the ghosts, there's clearly no better explanation than you've unleashed this ghost. So you need to have an exorcism. I have a guy. I know a guy. He'll do it.
You know an exorcist?
I know everything. I know lots of people. I've been in this movement for a long time. I know everyone in it.
You, Mr. Atheist Pants, you know an exorcist.
I'll get him set up with you, and he'll help you out. You better do it fast too, because those things, it's almost Halloween. You don't want to do this you don't want to do this. You don't want to pass Halloween like this.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Send me his information. I was hoping that you could tell me that I'm just imagining this, but
yeah,
okay.
It's a scary world, Tracy. Okay. Ghosts are real. And there's seems to be, I mean, given what you've told me, I see no possible different explanation than the straight fact that you've unleashed a ghost and you have a problem. Okay. And that's a problem because that ghost is on you. And if that ghost is on you, there's no way to get him off you. He's supernatural. He's not going to get off you. The only way to get him off you is by an exorcism. And the exorcism, well, I mean, there's a few con people in the movement, but I know a good one. I'll set you up.
Okay.
You got a problem.
Okay. I'm going to reach out.
I'm here to help you. I'm here to help you. Don't tell anyone.
Your secret is safe with me.
Don't tell anyone.
But I'm going to have to rethink my whole life. But yes, your secret is safe with me. Thank you.
We all have to rethink our whole lives.
I hate to admit this, but they had a slave named Dean, and he would observe that same dog that appeared to have a human face following him when he would go home at night to visit his wife. Eventually, John Bell started having paralysis in his mouth, and the children, particularly Betsy, would wake up for the feeling they had been slapped, pinched, and stuck with pins. Also, they began to hear very strange noises around the Bell's house at night, like knocking. Shit.
Y'all, I don't know what's gonna happen to me. I keep hearing things. It sounds like something's going to get closer and closer to me while I'm trying to finish up this movie. This case for my subscribers. I want to let my wife know I love you. If anything happens to me, I'm so sorry. I got involved in this. If I'd have known, I would have never researched this witch. I'm so sorry. Also, to my mom, thank you for everything. To my dad, thank you for everything. And my sisters, my friends, I love you all. Please, please don't let anything bad happen to me. Please, I'm so scared.
Yeah, I don't know what that was, but I'm going to finish this dang story. The Bells turned to their friend James Johnston, who was a preacher of sorts, for help, and he told them that he had experienced noises and spirits just like this. And so he attempted to speak to the spirit one night in their home, and he asked them who it was, and he said a voice said Kate, and he thought it might have been the ghost of Kate Batts. But then it also answered, I am a spirit. I was once very happy. I've been disturbed. Return what you took. So he believed it was attached to a Native American burial ground on the property. Drew Bell and his friend Bennett Porter looked for buried treasure around it to see if there was something missing. And they continued to hear this spirit voice reciting fire and brimstone sermons in perfect wordity for the next few weeks. Johnston's son John decided he would do a test for witches, something that he had derived from their Dutch step-grandmother in the North Carolina colonies. And once doing this test, it would reveal if there was indeed a witch, and it did reveal that there was a witch, hence the Bell Witch. He asked the witch what was her purpose, what was going on, and the witch replied in his actual dead grandmother's voice, "Hut tut, what has happened now?" And John Johnstone asked the witch why she was here. The witch refused to answer any further. They called in another English clergyman that did an investigation around the house, but could not find any evidence of a witch until he swore he saw objects moving, and then he apologized for his skepticism, but quickly left. Other slaves that brought some of their superstition from Africa, some of the slaves in the nearby area would come to the house and say they could also feel the witch's presence, and it was indeed the spirit of Kate Batts. But the spirit seemed to have an affinity for Mrs. Bell, John Bell's wife, and would often sing hymns to her and leave fresh fruit on the doorstep, so the legend goes, as a measure of respect for the woman. However, the witch made clear her intention to kill John Bell for revenge on what he had done to the Batts family, and the story kind of concludes with a mysterious poisoning of John Bell, in which he passed. The Bell family was so torn apart that they could no longer go on with life. Betsy Bell refused to marry her the daughter refused to marry her longtime fiance, Joshua Gardner, and the family essentially left the area. They did return in 7 years, in 1828, to visit their old property. And the witch again returned and visited them. And so they left. As long as they weren't there, the witch appeared to lay dormant. It's even rumored that President Andrew Jackson himself made a trip to Adams to see if the legend was true, but no accounts of whether he believed it or not. There have been a few other legends where people claim to have seen the Bell Witch, or Kate Batts as she's otherwise known, floating partially off the ground, long hair, long dress, shades of red. And that's the last incantation anybody ever has about the Bell Witch. And the legend is still alive and well in the folklore of southern Kentucky and northern Tennessee. And y'all, if she's after me, I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'm going to get this story out. I hope you enjoyed it. And until next time, and I hope there is a next time, Keto Comic out.
I heard something up here. What is that? What is that? What is that? Oh my God, no! It's worse than I thought! It's straight from the pits of hell! No!
Tracy is fine, but her wife is pissed. Yep, that's what happened. Happy Halloween, folks.